Greetings and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe. We recently had a poll, Choose Your Fighter, where we asked which of 3 World War I air combat games you would like to see a campaign through. And you chose Western Front Ace. I can't say I'm really surprised. It's a popular, well-known game. There is plenty of content already on YouTube for it. But this is what won, so this is what we will do. Now, I have elected to try a couple of different things here. We will go with the Italian front, and I will play as an Austro-Hungarian ace. We're going to use some optional rules. I'm going to play as an ace. This guy right here, Godwin von Brumowski, he had 35 victories in his career. As you can see, he did survive the war. And so when you do that, you start with some abilities and things here. You see we start with a prestige level of 1, the rank of Lieutenant. Starts with aim, which is actually gunnery, that's a misprint, and expert skills. And we start the game at September 1916, which is the beginning of the game anyway, and have 3 victories to our name currently. So that is our guy. He is a Lieutenant. We have the rank here. Got little things, got a little, while I was moving stuff around, things got moved a little bit. So here on his mat, we have the gunnery skill right here, and his expert skill is down here. The aircraft, because we are starting in September of 1916, is the Hansa Brandenburg D1, or D1 if you would prefer. And it's got an agility rating of 1 and a speed rating of 11. It has 6 ammo. We do have initiative chart on here, and then you've got actually the expert, I think, would go on here. So we have expert there. I can also put in the other expert. I mean, we've got a couple of everything. They do give you multiple copies of all the counters and stuff, so I can dig out the other expert one and put it on here. It's not that big of a deal. He has 1 prestige point, but no experience points. So I did actually put the aircraft out here, but I did not yet roll to see what assignment we get. So we can do this, and we have September of 1916 all the way over here. And we're not Germany, so we're going to ignore that. We're going to roll 1d6, and we're going to go all the way over here to the Jagdflieger Kompanien from Austria. 2D, 12D on a 1 and 2, 16D, 19D, 5 and 6, and you can see the Hansa Brandenburg D1 there, which we got right there. So I will roll my black D6 and get a 2, so that means we are either 2D or 12D, okay? And you can see the color coding of the choice there. We are on the Isonzo front. Okay, so the Isonzo front is this side, and that would put us in Trieste, okay, as our kind of home area. Now we do need to roll to see which base we get. Actually, no, we don't, because I think we only have the 2 bases of Trento and Trieste, and since we are on the Isonzo front, our base would be Trieste. We'll put that there on our current base. That means our opposing base will be Udine, which I don't have out, but you can see there's the red lines. The Western Front map is a lot more big and it's just big with a lot more bases on it because of the, I guess the scale of it. Not that the fighting on the Italian front wasn't bitter or as difficult. It was probably worse because of the mountainous terrain of the Alps, but it was just larger scale up in France and Belgium. So I've written out here, it's probably hard to read because it's pencil, but it says AH for the nation. I didn't feel like writing out Austro-Hungary. And we have Godwin von Brumowski as our pilot. So we are ready to go. Okay, so let's take a step through our cards here. Now, as I mentioned when I originally did this game, this is a Stuka Joe idea, and it's actually been included in several, at least a couple, I think, more Greg Smith games since then. So at the start of each month, place remove MGO markers, and we're going to roll 1d6 for the number of contact patrols at the start of each month, and we'll roll on chart A1 for our mission, and then we'll go through and do said mission. So I mentioned MGO from the card. That's actually main ground offensives or major ground offensives, and there are none taking place here on the Italian front in September of 1916. So we will progress, rolling for the number of contact points we're going to get here in September of 1916. So I'm going to roll again. We got 6, which is the most you can get. So we're going to get 6 contact sorties. And you can see, I'll put, I think I just write a 6 in here. Oh, I mentioned optional rules, so I should probably go over that a little bit. So the fact that I'm using an ace, that is an optional rule. But here's our optional rule section 11. Okay, so we're not doing multiplayer or co-op or competitive. So these 3 out. Ace cards, we are using the ace card. You can see you can start at any base. What you need to do for victory is match or exceed his historical level. I am going to use pilot fatigue and the effects thereof, and you can see the pilot fatigue table up here basically will impact landing rolls and initiative. The higher it gets, you can have leave, and then we'll also do variable quality for our enemy pilots. This way we get a little variation in there. And what that does, you get 1 less random hit. From greens, trained is the default. Veteran pilots do 1 extra random hit if they do at least 1 hit. Ace pilots do 1 random hit also if they get at least 1, and also receive a +1 on the initiative roll. Okay, so we're going to use that stuff because I think it's interesting. So we have 6 contact sorties. So the first sortie that we will run, we're going to roll here for our mission chart. And here is 1916 under the central powers. So we're going to roll our 2d6. We get a 6, and a 6 is a line patrol. And then you have this color code over here, and you can see down here, orange is going to be over no man's land. Okay, so now we have to conduct our movement, right? So we start at takeoff here, and we put that there. And our mission, we have mission counters, line patrol, and that goes right here. Now again, I could put Udine right there, but since there's only 1, I don't really see the point of digging through all the counters and finding it, so I'm not going to do that. So I know it's Udine, it's going to remain Udine. And we're just going to go with it. All right, so okay, so we've moved to a new endurance box, and we have to roll to see if we have any encounter over our airfield. So we use this encounter chart. Now you can see friendly lines, allied. So the allied chart is a little bit different than this one, which says enemy lines and friendly lines. So this is what the central powers use. So I'm going to take my 2d6 and I'm going to roll, and we got a 3. And a 3 is a 2-seater with the asterisk. Single asterisk gives a solitary hunting fighter out of the sun status if engaged. Now, I believe because we're just starting out, well, he has 3 victories, so that would mean he could be a solitary hunter, but I need to check. Okay, so you need to be an ace. So let's move on to, so we need to figure out what kind of aircraft we're taking on. So these are the two Italian two-seaters. So we're going to roll 1d6 here. And we got a 6, so that would be the Caproni CA3. And we look at our B2 two-seater map. And here you have the Caproni CA3. Speed is 9, agility is 0, and it does have rear guns. Okay, I wrote my target in here as the Caproni CA3. I know a lot of this is too small for you to see, but I thought it might be more useful because we're definitely using this, and of course the dice tower. So since they wouldn't all fit anyway, I kind of elected to include this and have a slightly wider look. But the next thing we're going to do is we're going to roll here on the B1 starting orientation. We'll roll our 2d6. And we get a 6, a 4, and a 2 head on. So we have a head on contact here. So rather than dig through all the Allied aircraft types or Italian aircraft types, there really aren't that many, but I've got them all mixed in with the French and the British and the Americans and the Belgians. So I'm going to take this guy here, and the colored side will be the front of the aircraft. So in this case, I'm going to put it this way with the stripe down, which indicates that that's the enemy's facing. Our aircraft will face the other way. So I'm just going to take this guy and put him here. So his nose is facing that way, their nose is facing us. That indicates, of course, that our orientation is head on. So combat's conducted via the cards. So I'm going to draw a card. We use the attack, and we look at our firepower, which in the case of the Hansa here is a 3. So we're in this column right here, and we get 3 hits. Okay. He also has the gunnery skill, so that gives us an extra hit. If you hit, and in this case we did, we're going to get an extra one. So that gives us actually 4 hits. So we discard this guy, and I didn't roll for weather. But we'll take care of that in a moment. It's not really all that big a deal, except for landing and takeoff, if I remember correctly. So let me roll. I'll roll our D10 real quick here. It's a 7, so that's good anyway. So we'll put that there. That doesn't affect anything. Okay, so now we have to roll for the hits and the damage that they do. Okay, so we have to flip for the enemy, and he also uses the attack, I think. Clarification, I thought so because it doesn't seem sensible, but here in 7.1.10.1 clarification, this is the official errata I downloaded off of the Compass website. Two-seaters do not fire head-on. They go defensive. They are trying to escape. They will fire rear guns if possible, if the round starts and they are disadvantaged of being tailed. So they don't actually get to fire at me at this time because we were head-on, but they do go defensive, and that gives them half loop, and they improve to trailing, which doesn't help them. We'll still do that. So they are going to be trailing me. So I'm going to turn myself over like so. And I need to now determine the damage that I did to them with my 4 hits, because they didn't lose any hits by going into their half loop, apparently. Okay, so let's roll for damage. So that is down here, and we'll use the black. It shows a red here, but we didn't get a red, and it explains it in the errata that it's actually just using the black. So black is the first digit, and the white is the second digit. And we get an 11, which is crew injury. So that'll be the first thing we need to check. Now for crew injury, it's right on the other side, actually. I'm going to roll again, and we'll see if it's pilot or observer. It's a 7, so that is the pilot. And now we roll 1d6 for the severity right here. It's a 4, which is a severe wound. Pilot, severe wound, -2 hits, +1 to land, cannot use skills. That really doesn't impact us here. So let me roll the other 3 hits. We got a 44 that time, which I think is just canvas. It is. It's just canvas, which means no damage. 2 left. This time we got a 56 rear guns. So that's good. And whoops. Flying right out of my hand. Ugh. 12, port strut. Okay. So with a pilot wound, they would attempt to disengage, and because they're tailing us and advantaged, they automatically get that. So we do not shoot him down, no kill, but no damage to us. And we move to our next box. So we're now here, and we would be up here now, and we roll again for our encounter. So we are still over friendly lines. So we're going to roll here again. We got a 7. That is nothing. So that will move us. Actually, no, we were on friendly territory. Now we're over no man's land for this next roll. So we're going to be here, right? And we will roll one more time. And we've got an 8, and an 8 over no man's land is a fighter. So we do get a fighter this time. So let us roll to find out what kind of fighter we get. So here is the list for this. If we roll something that's not available yet, because we're in September of 1916, then you re-roll. So we're going to probably have to re-roll. We got a 7, and the 7 is a Spad S7. Okay, that's easy enough. So this is the Spad S7 card, and we're going to use it to track the combat here. So that'll mostly be down here in this area. I'm going to set it off to the side for the moment, and I will we'll talk about what happens as it happens. So I'm just going to set that right there for the moment, and we're going to determine starting orientation. So let me roll. We got a 3, and the player starts advantaged. Okay, so we are advantaged, which means that he would be side on to us. We would be facing him that way. So that's advantaged as opposed to tailing or neutral or disadvantaged. You get the gist. Just for a quick clarification here, you can see this is what it shows in the manual for it, that advantaged is a good position. We are facing his side. So that is good. If we can improve to tailing, that would be even better. All right, so now we need to make a call on what we want to do here. So there are things you can do when you're advantaged. So we will attack, of course, and we will flip our card. Now our firepower, again, is a 3. So that is 2 hits, and we get a bonus for our skill. So we put that down and draw again for them. And they use the defense section because they are advantaged. So they do a split S, avoid a hit, and encounter ends. Okay, so we're going to only have 2 hits. So let's roll for our hits now. And we got a 43 rear guns. Okay. And then we've got one more hit to roll. And it's a 54, and that is landing gear. So they are going to escape because of the split S, and the encounter is over. So again, we've got really no dice here. I need to write this one down for this one, and we'll move on to the next one. Now we move ourselves to, actually front line is where we are, right? And we are on a line patrol, which is where we're supposed to go. So we're supposed to be over the line. So we will choose to loiter So what that does is, I forgot to move this down. So we did take off, right? Friendly territory. So we went take off 1, 2. Now we're going to loiter by staying in this box right here. So that's 1 endurance gone, and we will roll for an encounter again. So we'll use this chart and we'll roll, and we got a 10, and a 10 is nothing. Now we do have to fly back 2 boxes, so we can loiter 1 more turn. Try again, see if we can find somebody to do something with here. We got a 5 that time, and 5. Oh wait, what did I roll before? A 10, still nothing. A 5 is with 2 stars. Double asterisk means no encounter in Italy, so no encounter. Okay, so now we're going to go back. So we'll go back. And friendly lines, a 6, and over friendly lines is nothing. We'll go to the landing box. We got a 12 at the in the landing box now. So 3+ fighters. That's not good. Not good at all. So let's see what we get. I'm going to roll for the fighter types. And we got, actually for 3+ fighters, first 12 rolled per, oh, it's a random event. Okay. Random event. So let's roll for the random event. We rolled a 9. Ace encounter. Randomly pick an historical ace card as your encounter from a nationality that connects to your home base. From a pool of cards containing possible candidates not been killed, he will have the ace abilities as listed on his card and will use the most advanced aircraft possible from his list. If all possible ace cards have been killed prior to this event, treat as no event. All aces have advanced maneuvers 1 to 3 and will use the best one possible when defensive. Okay. All right. Okay, this could put a quick end to the campaign here. So these are the 2 aces that Italy has. It's a 2-sided card. So we have Pier Ruggiero Piccio, sorry, and Francesco Baracca. So I'm going to do odd for him, even for him. Over 1 die. It's a 2, so yeah, odd, even. So it is Pier Piccio, and he will fly. We have to check what aircraft is available. So let me roll here. He got a 7, which is the Spad S7. So he's flying the Spad F7, which I already have out. And he gets the leadership and expert skills. Okay. So the leadership skill, I don't think will have much impact here. Let me check that one real quick. I'm pretty sure that's not a great one for this. Yeah, let's see. Leadership gives you, oh, pilot only gets a -2 DRM to promotion die rolls. Yeah, that does not matter for this. Okay, so we'll draw roll for advantage. Let's hope we roll advantaged. Roll a 12. Enemy is out of the sun. Oh boy. Okay. So what that does is it puts us at disadvantaged, and the enemy aircraft fires, we don't get to flip a defense card. All right, so the Spad has a firepower of 3, so 5 hits. We do not get to flip a defense card. So expert, however, which we do have, lets us actually, I'm going to put that as used. That lets us redraw. So we'll draw another card, and it's again a 5. So that did no good. And so now we got to roll for all the damage they're going to do to our aircraft here. And that is right here on this one, 31. So 31 is tail. So let me grab a damaged marker. Tail. Okay. 62, starboard strut. 3 to go. 65, canvas. So that's a no damage. 54, landing gear. Okay, and the last one. 16, fuel tank. Now we have to check for fire. Let me put this down, damaged marker on here first. Fuel tank. Okay. Now we have to check for fire. So here on the B4 chart, aircraft damage listing, fuel tank. So fuel tank hit or an engine hit requires a 2d6 roll. 2, fire on an engine hit. Now we had a fuel tank hit. 2 to 11, leaking fuel hit. 12 would be a fire for either. So we just don't want to roll a 12 here. We did not. We rolled a 5. So that would be leaking. Leaking tanks result in the loss of 1 extra endurance per box. We're in our landing area, so I guess that probably means fire results in aircraft loss and death for all crew. Second fuel tank hit requires an emergency landing after combat. Unfortunately, we're not done with this combat, and we now need to roll for a next round and initiative. Now, the Spad and the Brandenburg, or Hansa Brandenburg, both have a speed rating of 11. So what that does, so we now roll for initiative, and we use this mini chart here on the card itself. And so our net differential we roll a die for each plane, and then we add, we look at this for the differential. So we're going to be adding a white to 11, and we're adding both of these to 11, and they rolled a 6. So he's going to have an advantage of 4, which gains 1 position, which means he's now on my tail. So this is going to be ugly, probably. All right, so now we draw a card for his attack. His firepower is still a 3, so 4. And now we'll draw for our maneuvering. Tight turn. Improve 1. 2 if a rotary engine. We do not have a rotary engine, I'm pretty sure. So we will improve for the next one and go back to advantaged, but we do have to check these 4 hits. So let's start rolling the hits here. We got a 40, 45. 45 is starboard strut. That's the second hit to the starboard strut. And that's not good. Okay. And we got a 51, which is starboard strut. Wing struts. Damage point marker per hit. When damage equals the strut total for that wing, it is destroyed and the plane is shot down. Okay. So we have been shot down. Okay, so I just realized that that's 3 and you have 4 damage points that you can have here. So I have 1 more damage I have to roll, I believe, if I remember correctly. And we got an 11, which is a crew injury. Okay, so now we roll on the crew injury right here. We got a 9. That is the observer, which we don't have. No effect. So that's lucky for us. Now, we do improve via our tight turn. So we are now here, but we again have to roll for initiative. And so let's, we're 11 again, each. And yeah, we don't have engine damage. So we got a 2, he got a 3. So he's advantaged by 1, which means no change. Okay, so he's side on, so he still gets to attack me. And with a firepower of 3, that's 2 hits. Oh, he gets an extra hit because he was tailing me before. And 65 is canvas, so no effect. So that's good. Now he's got 2. Now I am going to use a standard maneuver and not draw a defense card. So a standard, like if you can do a barrel roll, which is actually what's on that card. So let me see if I can find this in the rules so I can see. Standard, it's under standard and advanced maneuvers. I don't have advanced maneuvers. Yeah, so instead of drawing a card, player may instead choose to perform a standard or advanced maneuver. The main reason to do this is to avoid a random bad card or avoid a card that doesn't help your situation. The basic standard maneuvers are a tight turn, which improves position by 1, barrel roll, which would avoid 2 random hits, and a dive, which would avoid 1 random hit, and you're ready for an emergency landing. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and get an emergency landing because of this. So it still means they're going to get us with 1 hit. And a 42 is port strut, so the other strut, thankfully, and not starboard strut. That would have been bad. Okay, so now we can attempt an emergency landing. And I think we can do that. Let me check the rules for an emergency landing because I haven't done it before. Okay, so we are attempting to try an emergency landing, even if disadvantaged or being tailed. Okay, so let's roll for our initiative anyway. And this time he's got a +3, which would be gaining a position. So again, we would be tailed. And he's going to get a +1 random hit and another +1 random hit. So 2 random hits on this emergency landing. So you're not allowed to flip a defensive card and the enemy aircraft shoots at you with a +1 random hit. You may also receive ground fire. That will not occur to us. Disengaging in this way is hazardous and should only be done in an emergency. If you survive the AA fire, the fighter's last shot in the landing, you have landed. See the forced landing rules. Okay. All right, so we are going to, yeah, so he gets to still draw a card. Oh my God. 5 hits. Again, with the 5 hits. So he's got 7 hits on me. The chances of not drawing a starboard strut are really low at this point. 22 is canvas, thankfully. Now, 63 is canvas. Okay, so now we're just down to the 5. 21 is landing gear. That's not going to help. So now we got a -2 there. So that's, I still have 4 left. 64 is forward weapons. That doesn't really matter. But, oh, and I never used my ammo, but I'll just take that off for now. It really doesn't matter at this point. Is this I think this is the cowling that's damaged. 2 left, right? Or 3 left. I think it's 3 left, actually. 34.5 is port strut. The wings are going to be falling off the plane here. 15 is landing gear. I think that's all you can get is 2. And we still have 2 more here. 61 tail. Did we hit? Yeah, we did get hit in the tail already. And the final hit, 44, which is canvas. Thank you. Okay, so now we have to try a landing. And this is going to be interesting. So let me find the landing chart. Here is the landing chart right here. Okay, so we're going to get a We did not actually have our controls hit. We do have a +1 for the emergency landing. We're not in no man's land. We don't have a serious wound. We have a +2 for the landing gear, so that's +3 total. And let me roll for the weather. It's a 6, so it's good weather, so we don't lose any, we don't get any more. So we have a +3 on our roll here. So we're going to roll 2d6. And we got a 6, and a 6 + 3 is 9, and that is a safe landing. So we actually survived. Our plane got shot up, but somehow, miraculously, we survived. I probably screwed something up, and I was supposed to be dead, but I'm pretty sure I did. Well, I'm as sure as I can be that I did not get shot down. Whew. Anyway, that was exhausting, and I'm going to stop here. So I will do one more, at least, and we'll see how things go. That was a really, really bad mission. We're back at the hangar now, and we can get all cleaned up and fixed up here. But yeah, I'm done for this one. That was tough. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'd like to give a shout out to my channel members. Appreciate the support. We have 2 levels, hexed and countered. If you're interested in supporting the channel, click the join button. You'll get some information. You don't have to actually do anything. Clicking the join button does not automatically make you join. Let's put it that way. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, you know where to put them. The old comment section. If you'd consider liking, sharing, hyping, and or subscribing to the channel, that would be greatly appreciated. But I appreciate the fact that you watched the video. If you made it all the way through, congrats and thank you. But that's it for now. I'm Joe. This is Hexed and Countered. And until next time, as always, happy gaming.